Hey guys, what's going on? Needs more drums back in Alma, Missouri for what is going to be the final episode of our final FS22 series. Before we jump into FS25, really looking forward to that. I haven't actually been able to play the game too much because this series has been quite a challenge and it's really taken a lot of time to get done with all the jobs that we've been needing to get done throughout the year. But it's finally time to see the fruits of our labor. And today it is January, so it is time to sell our harvest. All the prices are at a high point right now. So if we just take a quick look, you can see wheat. The typical high price is about 430 bucks. We have about $470 if we send it via train to Sedalia. Same thing with oats, currently 740 to Sedalia. High price is about 690. And then if we look at the corn, we have a lot of corn in the silo. We could do a couple of things with the corn, but again, if we send it to Sedalia, we get about $570. High price about 523. The only thing with the corn is I debated, trying to figure out the corn dryer. I've actually never used a corn dryer in any map. And I know you just add propane and then over time it produces dried corn and you can sell that for actually, I think it's like double the price. It's actually quite lucrative. But the problem is I wish I would have noticed that sooner because I just don't think that I have the time to get all of the production cycles through, because I think you can only put in, it says it runs 72 cycles a month. So in theory, it would produce 72,000 dried corn a month. And we have like 200 some thousand liters. So it just, at the end of November, it just didn't make sense. I don't know if that's actually how it works, but either way, yeah, I just, it's a little too late for that now. And either way, I'm fine with just selling it outright. We should still make tons of money. So can't complain there. But yeah, so what we're going to do first is we're going to sell all of our product. So we're going to pull out the two trucks here. I don't know who's going to drive what, but two of us will drive these two, and we'll just kind of run some trips down to the rail yard silo. So if you look at the mini map here real quick, we got to go drop everything off at the railroad storage silo, and then we can rent the train and then unload from the railroad storage silo and run the train, just the full train, over to Sedalia to get all of that money. So it's always cool to play on maps with trains because, it adds a nice little sell point, and it's a little bit of work. It's a little bit more money. There's a little bit more cost input because you actually have to rent the train, which costs money. You have to bring stuff to the storage, to a different silo and store it, and then, reload it onto the train. So it's a little bit more work, but typically the money that you make, it'll fetch a little bit higher price when you're sending it, out a longer distance. So can't really complain there. Again, I say that a lot, but it's true. Everything this year has been really, really successful so far. We got good weather. We got a great harvest. We got tons of crops in the silos. And then the next step for today, after we get our crops sold, the main thing is that I want to go and check out some of the animals from the animal dealer and try to buy some animals on the farm again. So it'd be nice we have a horse barn. It'd be nice to get a couple of horses. We got a sheep barn. We'll get a few sheep. We'll get some chickens over there in the chicken coop. And then we'll also get some cows, which, I did a series where I did 1,000 cows in, not Calmstead Farm, Court Farms. And that was a lot of fun. So this will not be that scale. We'll probably have maybe like 50 cows, maybe even like something like 30. Just not a ton. We'll have a couple of horses, I'm thinking, not a ton of animals, but just enough to make some extra money on the side and to have, another purpose on the farm rather than just doing arable crops and grass work. So we got a lot of food stashed away. And that reminds me, so when we sell some of these products, for example, our wheat and our oats, I know that chickens eat wheat. I think horses eat oats and hay, if I remember correctly. But we have, we have tons of hay, we have tons of silage and everything in the barns. But yeah, we want to keep some of the grain crops so that they can be used as some of the animal feed for the chickens and such. And actually, speaking of silage, let's go over here real quick and just check on the fermentation status of these bales to make sure that I don't want to buy cows and then not have our silage bales be fermented. So we might have to hold off on that till either the end of the month or even into next month if these aren't fermented. So let's go check it out. And yeah, it looks like these bales are all ready to go. 6,000 liters of silage all across the board. We have many, many bales. This was a lot of work to make these, and this was only like 2 fields, I think. Two of the big ones and one and the small one, I think. We have 4 grass fields. We used one of the grass fields to make hay, and then we used all of the 2 other big ones, and then the small one over there to make a silage. So tons of bales all ready for the winter, probably for more than that, to be honest with you. But what we don't use, we'll as long as we got them, we'll just sell more once we come into the next spring season and the next grass harvest season. So nothing to worry about there. But yeah, let's go ahead and jump into some of the trucks. One of the trucks, I think I might take the Kenworth. Use the big trailer because I love this trailer. It's such a beautiful mod. But same with this Mack. It's such a beautiful mod as well. So we'll take turns today. I might have either Darren or Kyle will grab one of these. But either way, we're just gonna go make some runs down to the rail yard, get all of this in the silo, and then I'll bring you guys in when we're ready to rent the train and get this loaded up and shipped off. So let's go ahead and jump in and get started with some work for today. So realistically, all that we need to do is pull under here, and we should get a prompt to load up our truck. So press R, there we go. So we have wheat in this silo, and so we'll use, I want to try to keep maybe like 20,000 liters in here. Or I forget how much this trailer holds, but I think it's like 60, I think it's like 60,000. Maybe we might be able to get, or maybe it's like 30-some thousand. Either way, once this fills up, we'll see. And then we'll see how many loads we got to bring in order to get a good amount left in the silo. Yeah, so we have 62,000 liters now, and we have 77,000 left. So I think we'll just, I won't get the other truck out just yet. We'll actually just make another run with this one, and then we'll be good on the wheat. Go ahead and put on the cover. I love the animation for this. This is such a nice, again, just such a nice mod. Look at that animation with the cover on. So realistic. Fantastic. And I will see you guys in a minute. Let's go run this down to the silo. Alright, so we're pulling up to the grain silo here, and I think that the unload point is going to be right here. I think this is the right spot. Let me just jump into the mini-map real quick, just to make sure. Yeah, so we're right here. Railroad storage silo. That looks good to me. So we'll go ahead and pull in here, and I don't actually know if we have the clearance to raise the bed all the way, so I think I might just play it safe and use the grain door for now. Yeah, we may have been okay to raise the bed all the way, but still, it doesn't matter. We have quite a bit of a time today to just, not be in such a huge rush. But anyway, we'll get all this unloaded. It takes quite a bit of time to empty out this whole trailer. So we'll get all this unloaded, we'll run back, do the same thing for the oats. And then for the corn, maybe we'll get the Mack rolling, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if we need to. This trailer holds so much, it's only like, I think we have maybe, what, 6, maybe 8 trips total today? Thinking 2 for this, probably 2 for the oats, and then another 4 or something for the corn. So anyway, shouldn't take us too long. We got plenty of time today. And then we'll get this on the train and sold. So I will just talk to you guys once we've delivered all of our grain. All right, so it's about 11:30. We've made a few runs of all of our grain and our corn to the railroad silo, and something interesting has happened. So we still have 75% left in this load, and we still have about 30,000 liters or so in the silo back at the farm. But it said that corn is not accepted here. So I think what's happened is that we've actually filled the railroad storage silo for now. So we have to unload some of this onto the train, and then maybe we can get some more in and do like another trip. So I am going to rent the train here, and I think it's over here if I just click. Here it is. So rent the train for $1,000 an hour. So I'm going to click that, and the train is going to arrive soon. So I think it's making its loop around the map right now, and then once it arrives, it'll come here and stop. So what I'm going to do now is I think I might head back to the farm, and then we'll load up the or maybe we'll have, so Kyle's been helping us out driving the other truck over here, so I might have Kyle go and load up the Kenworth just to be ready. And then what we could do is we could sell as much as we can, and we might have to make a few trips. I think the train in this map only has like 3 grain cars, which I know in like I think it's like Griffin, Indiana, or whatever, they have, you know, that train has like maybe 5 or 6 grain cars. This one's a little bit smaller, so I might have to make a couple of trips with our full load of grain to sell. But that's fine. So we'll wait for it to arrive, and then we'll load it up. And if we got to make another trip back to the farm and get the rest of the corn over here, that's fine. There's no point in having the corn sit in the silo back at the farm over the winter. There's just no point in doing that. The grains, like the oats and the wheat, we can, like I said, we can use for feed, but the corn has no use to us. So I want to get that all sold if we can. And it looks like the train should be coming up here pretty soon. It's actually coming way quicker than I thought. I think in this map it makes rounds pretty quick, which is kind of nice because then you're not spending money just waiting for the train to arrive. I know, like in Griffin, Indiana, you got to sit there, and sometimes you'll spend $1,000 if you don't like time it right. You'll spend $1,000 on the hour just waiting for the train. So not too bad here. But yeah, once it pulls up here, I think it should just stop, and then we should be able to. Oh, here it comes, coming backwards. Interesting. Okay, well, we'll go ahead and jump in here, and then we should just be able to load up these grain cars. I'm gonna go ahead and shut the engine off on my truck real quick instead of just letting it burn fuel. Even though it's winter, it's cold. It's not that cold. But it's kind of interesting because it's snowing and it's 43 degrees, but whatever. I know sometimes, I'll be honest, like when you use 1-day months, which is why in my future series I might go back to 3-day months. When you use 1-day months, it seems like the weather doesn't really like fully get set. So, all right, so let's see here. So theoretically, we should be able to just do this. And so I got to find which car it is. So I think if I go, probably this first one here, we'll open the cover. Okay, so there's one grain car. So it should just be able to do this here. It kind of takes a little bit to stop. I got to go back. Now for this one, let's load up the... Oh man, we got tons of stuff. So let me go back. Yeah, it definitely looks like there's a certain amount of stuff that we could have. So 124,000 in wheat. We'll load this one up with some wheat. Then we'll load the next one. I don't want to load up that open one, really. That's kind of weird. I don't know if we can load that up with grain or not. But probably just that second closed one back there we'll load with barley, or the rest of the, or not barley, oats, if we don't fill this one up with wheat, which looks like this is already full. So we might have to do a few loads of grain here. This is interesting. Yeah, so this one I don't want to load with grain because that doesn't really make sense to do, even though I can. I just don't want to do that. So now let me do... All right, there's a second cover. That one looks like it's over the platform there. Okay, hold on. Now we'll load the rest of the wheat in here. All right, so there's our 124,000 liters. We'll close that. And now we will drive the train over to the edge of the map, and it should just give us our profit right away, and then we might have to rent the train again. If this is anything like how Griffin, Indiana works, you just drive it to the edge, it'll automatically disappear, and then you just have to re-rent it, which is fine. So just for the record, we have $110,559 in the bank. I'm curious what we're going to have at the end of this. I might just, if this is going to work correctly, I might just fast forward to after we've sold everything to see what we're left with. So yes, I would like to sell the loaded goods in Sedalia. All right, so there's 56,000 from our wheat. Honestly, not as much as I was thinking, but our wheat is kind of one of our, not the most high yielding crop in terms of profit. So if you look at the prices here, that kind of makes sense. Only less than 500 bucks per thousand, which is not the greatest price. Oat's going to be a little bit more profitable, and corn we might be looking at the same. So I think I was way off earlier when I thought this was going to be $1 million harvest. Definitely not. Definitely not. But shouldn't be too bad though, honestly. But anyway, we'll jump back in to the silo by the rail yard, and we'll rent the train again, and then just get everything sold and see what we're left with at the end of the day in terms of profit. All right. Here is the end result. After selling all of our corn, oats, and wheat, we are left with $421,030 in the bank. Not as much as I thought, but my estimates and math was just plain wrong. I didn't really take the time and actually like calculate it. I just kind of thought it through real quick, and yeah, well, so not disappointed by any means. This is, you know, definitely a good year, way better year than we've had on the farm before, or that Darren's had on the farm before. So Darren and Kyle are back up at the farm. We just, you know, got rid of the train, so we're gonna jump back into the Mac here, and we'll go head up there. So next on the agenda, before we wrap up the episode, we gotta go look at what animals we can afford. So we're gonna go head back up to the farm and just probably visit each of the pens, see what the cost is gonna look like to have all of the animals transported here. We don't have a trailer of our own, and to be honest, I have done the math on this before. It is actually cheaper to just pay the delivery fee for animals rather than trying to lease a trailer and transport them all yourself. Yeah, unless you're doing like massive quantities of animals, you're really not saving any money by leasing a trailer and doing all the work. So we're just gonna have them delivered, and the dealer is right in town, so can't really complain about that. But yeah, we'll see how much they cost, and then we do need to get a couple of pieces of equipment if we're gonna have animals on the farm. Mainly, we need a mixer wagon for the cows and a some kind of tanker to transport the milk. I think I have an idea of what I'm going to do about that. We might actually repurpose one of our old trucks and see if we can get a tank body for it instead of buying something completely new or, you know, whatever. So just a thought, but that way we can save a little bit of money and make use of some equipment that we already have that we're not really using too much, especially since we got that other truck just recently. You know, it kind of fills up the need for having, you know, we don't need 2 flatbeds or even 3 since we got our flatbed trailer for that matter. But anyway, I'll see you guys back at the farm. Just as we're pulling up here, one thing I love about this truck, Jake brake toggle. That's awesome. Nice little bit of immersion there, a little bit of realism. I love it. Fantastic. And it looks like auto drive didn't work here. Forgot about that. Ignore that for now. No big deal. Anyway. So I do know that animals are actually a little bit pricey, and I did go ahead and turn on the little triggers here to make sure that I am going to the right places. But yeah, so I want to be careful about what animals that we buy. I think horses are actually, they're cheaper than I thought, to be honest with you. That's not bad at all. So 500 bucks, I figure we'll get, you know, maybe 4 of these is what I'm thinking. I'm not going to fill any of the barns. I just don't think that we have the money, and I would like to have at least like 100 grand in the bank after we're like all of this is said and done, after we've bought our animals, bought our necessary new equipment. I feel like the most expensive investment is going to be the cows. Dairy cows especially are pretty pricey. So sheep, let's go ahead and check out the sheep. I think these are relatively cheap as well. And horses, I guess it makes sense that they're cheap because they don't actually have any kind of production. They're just kind of there. But yeah, these guys, pricier than I thought, to be honest with you. But again, not terrible. We can hold 300 of them. We're not going to get nearly that much. I think maybe we can get like, we get 20. That'll cost us like 10 grand. Maybe we'll get like, maybe we'll get 20 or 30 of these. So I figure we'll have between 10 and 20 grand invested in the sheep. For the cows, yeah, this is where the money's at a little bit. If we get some Holstein cows or some brown Swiss, probably some Holstein, I think would make more sense. I don't want beef cattle because I would like to have some milk. So yeah, I think Holstein's going to be our best bet. Hold 500 of these, man. These barns are really high capacity. But yeah, this, so 1,500 bucks. Let's say 10 grand. Well, like 15 grand. I don't know. Maybe we'll get 20 of these. Spend 30,000, or that would be like 40, maybe 40,000. Anyway, pretty sizable investment there. So it looks like our cows and our sheep are going to be our two priciest by far. And chickens, I mean, I'm just curious to see the price of chickens. Usually they're like $1 or 50 bucks or something, 100 bucks, whatever, something like that. Super cheap. But yeah, the eggs are worth it. I think having some chickens on a farm is kind of crucial, especially if we're going to be selling our products in town. So yeah, look at $5 for some chickens. These are baby chickens though, so if we want to get grown chickens, we're at 50 bucks. Not bad. We can hold 1,000 chickens. Ain't no way we're getting 1,000 chickens. Maybe we'll get 50. That might be fine. Probably like 2,500 bucks if I'm doing my math right. Yeah, so all in all, looks like we're going to be under 100K invested in animals, which is, to be honest, not at all what I thought. I might even be willing to spend a little bit more and get a little bit more money. So I'm going to go ahead and call up the animal dealer. I'm going to get all my orders placed, figure out some delivery times, and in the meantime, just get this equipment put away. These couple of trucks put them back in the garage for the winter. And yeah, I'll talk to you guys in a minute once all of the animals arrive and we sort out the equipment that we need for our animal care. All right, it is now February. As you can see, there is some new life to the farm. It is fantastic. We have our animals back. So we got this little Silo King TMR mixer wagon as well. We actually just bought this outright. You can still see that we have plenty of cash in the bank. I just didn't want to overdo it on the animals because I feel like if we had, if we bought too many, then it would be hard to keep up with feeding them. And with the amount of work that we have on this farm already, just in arable crops and grass work, we got a lot of land to take care of. So, and since, we're going to be heading out, leaving this to Darren and his help, we might try to find some new help. It's a lot. It's a lot for one man to handle. So, yeah, don't want to overburden everybody here with too many animals. But yeah, so we got, I think, let me pop up in the menu here. So we got 100 chickens, 1 rooster, 40 cows, 50 sheep, and 4 horses. And if you notice the names of the horses, so the first one was named Kramer, and then that got me thinking, I'm just going to name them all Seinfeld characters. So we have Kramer, Jerry, George, and Elaine. A hilarious show if you've never seen it. True classic. Love it. Anyway, yeah, so there's all of our animals in here. And what's interesting is that the cows and the sheep actually share the same pasture. So if you go ahead and check over the fence here, we could see there's a little sheep roaming around on the same field as cows. So cute. Love my animals. And then just walking over here, here are all of our horses. Here's 2 of them. The other 2 are in there hanging out. Again, just beautiful animals. I've never really raised a lot of animals in this game, to be honest with you. And it's kind of fun. It's always fun to use some of the different animal types. I've only done cows, as you know. Based on my last series, my 1,000 cow series, or I guess 2 series ago now. But, well, after this, it'll be 3. So, very, very exciting. But yeah, and then we have our chickens over there. Tons of chickens running around in a little chicken coop. 1 rooster. So, we'll have some little chicks hopefully pretty soon. But yeah, and then the last thing is we got our truck fixed up a little bit here. We actually did some major modifications to it. We got a new tanker on it, so this will help us sell our milk. I forget how what the capacity is, but I think it's, you know, pretty decent. And again, we don't have too many cows, but they produce milk quite quickly when as speaking from experience, yeah, they produce a lot of milk pretty quickly. But we still have 273 grand in the bank. I think what I'm going to do is actually just pay off the lease for our bale collector over there. It'll be about 80 grand, and then we'll still have plenty of cash in the bank. Once the next month rolls around, we'll get started with some field prep again, and we'll be back into another cycle. But yeah, our work here is done. We have successfully achieved our goal of getting all the animals back on the farm. We paid off our loan. We are no longer in debt, and we have quite a hefty sum of money in the bank for the next year, so we can get our seeds, get our lime, our fertilizer, everything like that. Shouldn't have any problems. I think the farm is going to be in good hands. Hopefully the weather will stick around, you know, for another year. The good weather will stick around, as opposed to a couple years ago where we had a lot of droughts and, you know, everything just caused a bunch of problems. But alas, we are good to go. So I will see you guys in FS25. And thanks for sticking around for this little series. This was a lot of fun. A great farewell to the game. Really, really happy to have gotten the chance to, you know, run just a big American farm. I just haven't done that yet in FS22, and I just really, really wanted to. So this was the perfect way to, you know, kind of bid farewell to the game. And I just had so much fun. I had so much fun doing this. So thank you guys so much for the support. We'll go ahead and jump into a little bit of a recap, and then I'll see you guys in FS25. It's been a tough year. We began with withered crops, a hefty loan, and a significant amount of debt. However, thanks to all the hard work from Kyle, Darren, and myself, we were able to get the farm back on its feet. We had a successful harvest worth over $300,000. We got the greenhouses up and running and sold thousands of dollars worth of produce. And most importantly, we got the animals back. It's time to move on to new adventures, but I want to thank you all so much for sticking with me throughout this challenge. I can't think of a better way to end our journey in FS22, and I'm very excited to see what's in store in FS25. Who knows? Maybe we'll come back one day and visit. But in the meantime, thank you all so much for the support, and I will see you all in a brand new FS25 series. Have a great week. Peace out.